What up, everyone? Grand day to y'all. My name is Juan. I'm the person behind this uh, channel, and pretty much I'm making this intro with regards to what it says here on top, making my beats live. And I just wanted to, I guess, pretty much give you a little introduction on what's going to take place when it comes to the this playlist that I will be having for you guys. So let's see. Allow me a moment. I have a couple of questions that I wanted to run through so that I could have my ideas in order. So initially, it says, "Why are you doing these lives, and what genres are you going to make?" Okay, well, in reference to that, I'm doing this because I want to share my process on how I go about making my beats, and I wanted to show that sometimes I come up with a lot of experimenting when it comes to my beats. I make a lot of mistakes and sometimes new discoveries. And so I thought to myself, hey, why not bring you guys along for the ride? So then that's pretty much the reason, and most importantly, hopefully, I could inspire someone or anyone to be able to, I don't know, start their own journey with music and answer any questions in real time. And so I think that's about it. Okay, so let's see. Another one is provide a background check on of yourself and how you got started. All right. Well, in reference to that, I pretty much got started with my friend Victor Estella. I actually have this image here on my Facebook. It says here my setup in '83 till I started DJing in '85. Now, in reference to that, I know it was in the mid '80s, so I may have maybe like a year off or and change. But that's pretty much the basic time when I got started. And so, so my friend Victor Stella, he had just bought his 1200s, the mixer, and that was his boombox. That's all his. But he was like, "Yo, man, moms can give me big beef on the music, that I have it so loud and stuff like that. So I may have to bother you with bringing my turntables, my equipment to your crib. Is that a problem?" I was like, "No, that's not a problem, man. You could just bring everything." I was like, "Oh man." So, I set up the equipment. So this is my room basically back in the day. So this right here, the turntables that you see here to the left, those are not really mine as well. This was later on though. But the turntables used to be right here where you see the computer all the way to the right. And but this was initially the setup that I had, on my dresser and stuff like that. It was just a boombox right there, and then the turntables, and it was just beautiful, But anyways, so that was pretty much it. And so the genres that I will be making will be hip hop and house, and I do both genres to the utmost respect to the cultures. I consider myself an outsider because, when I arrived to the U.S., I'm from Central America, Guatemala City. So when I arrived to the U.S. in '79, late '79, early '80s, it was, I was like, what's going on here? People throwing themselves down on the ground, and I'm thinking to myself, what are they doing? Little did I know that these guys were b-boys. They were rocking, and I was like taken by that. And so what I did with that, because at that time I was 9 years old, so what I did was I embraced the culture. Is what I did. I embraced the culture because I felt that it was something that I felt connected with, and I liked it. And at that age, you don't know anything about it being from here, from there, or that it belongs to so and so. You're just a kid, and you're just living. And so, anyway, so again, when I do both of these genres, I do them to the utmost respect to the culture, and hopefully, I'm doing not, I guess, what you might expect, but to me, I'm doing the best that I can. Let's see. So let's continue. So it says, uh, pictures on to studying with engineering mini class and video. All right. So yeah. So then later on, after this came into play, and then this happened and stuff like that, I went on to studying audio engineering. So with that, this is right here. Little background. This was 80, 1980. I went to audio engineering school, Center for the Media Arts in Money Making Manhattan, and that's my boy right there, Terrence Chapman from Trinidad. That's me in the background, and as you can see there, MIDI class teaching us how to go about when this was starting, right? In his infant stages. But so that was pretty much it. I went into that. I studied for a year, and so I have a pretty extended background because I wanted to take DJing to the next level. So I wanted to learn how to make music because it was to me something that it attracted me. I was like, how do they get the music onto this? How do they do this? And I can remember as a young buck, maybe 7 years old or 8. My mom's used to have a little record player that was like yay big, and it was brown. You could put a record on it, and it had the dials and stuff like that. And I used to take that, and I used to go in front of my house, and this was in my country, right? And I used to go in front of it, and I used to just look for music and play it, right? And so that was to me pretty pretty fun, that's what I was trying to do, and so uh, I always had an ear. I believe I have an ear for what I do, when it comes to DJ or production. And so, um, then later on, as I grabbed onto DJing, inspired by these two guys, they were the best in where I was at in Jersey and Dover. Um, you know, Irvington from Trinidad and Jason from Puerto Rico, Crazy Jace, and these guys was mixing at a party that I hadn't been invited to, but I had just moved from Brooklyn to Jersey, and here I am. Back in the days, everybody walking with a limp. Just they all had their own vibe and strive and just styling, and so that's what I brought when I came to New Jerusalem to Jersey, and so people, I guess, I don't know, they were looking at me different, but it's all good. Anyway, so when I saw these two guys DJing, I was like, oh, they were rocking at the same time, so they had 4 decks going. I was like, oh man, so I was blown away by that, and then so I said to myself, I could do that. I know I could do that, and I want to do that, and that's how. And then it came into play when my boy lent me his equipment. So it kind of all came to be, as I feel timing is everything. And speaking on that, timing, I'm self-taught, so I didn't have nobody teach me how to mix. My boy Victor, he was also learning, so he didn't know. But given that I had his equipment at my crib, I was able to just um, use it at any time. So during that time, I was going to high school, and I used to work as well. And so with working after high school and then trying to learn how to DJ, try to teach myself how to DJ, I used to listen to music and I used to be like, okay, I hear a difference now. The cymbal stopped. I hear a difference now. The chorus begins, or the hook, and so forth. So I didn't know that when I was doing my transitions, my mixing, that I was putting that into effect. Timing. I was putting that into effect. And so I was like, oh, okay, but I initially grabbed onto hip hop because of how I was inspired when I arrived, in the planet of Brooklyn in '79. So I started, becoming a DJ with hip hop first. So that was like my first true love, musically speaking, And so, and later on, freestyle and house. But production wise, I believe house and hip hop are where I'm mainly best at. Okay, so I think that's about it in reference to that. Let's see. Okay, so now I got a video that I would like to share with you guys. And hopefully you'll enjoy it as much as I do. So here it goes.
An ongoing dialogue about the soul of music production. In an ongoing dialogue about the soul of music production, two seasoned artists, Tony and Angel, delve into the ever-present obsession with gear and technology. Surprisingly, neither of them share the hype. Tony reflects on his journey. He embraced the tools that work for him, like his trusty Pro Tools with a bunch of plugins, feeling no need to chase after the latest bells and whistles. When others pressure him to upgrade to Pro Tools 2025.12, he questions the obsession with sampling at ultra-high frequencies. After all, dogs can't hear that, and spending thousands just to say he has the newest gear seems unnecessary. Meanwhile, Angel recounts his own creative process, revealing that most of his magic was made on humble hardware, an Atari for MIDI and an EMU64 for sound design, chopping vocals, and sampling. For him, technology upgrades have sometimes been more of a hurdle than a help. As newer systems emerge, he admits to feeling a bit lost, longing for the tactile simplicity of his old setup. His plan: stockpile vintage Ataris, so he can keep creating regardless of technological shifts. They both agree that without a clear vision, the flood of choices can become paralyzing. The endless options often distract from the real task, making music. Angel shares a routine with a friend, weekly sessions where they bring a handful of samples and challenge themselves to craft a track from limited resources. That liberation from constantly chasing new sounds reminds him that innovation often comes from constraints, not the latest tech. The conversation shifts to the misconception that you must always stay on the cutting edge to make compelling music. Tony emphasizes that many groundbreaking artists have thrived without the newest tools, simply by working deeply within their means. The question of whether the choice of software truly matters is answered with a shrug. Familiarity and comfort often outweigh the latest features. Finally, they reflect on how some of the most original sounds are born out of necessity. When budgets are tight or technology is limited, artists improvise, creating something fresh and wild. Proof that ingenuity isn't about the gear but about the artist's vision. As Tony reminds us, before digital software, it was just musicians and microphones, an age when raw talent and creativity ruled. Quote of a lifetime. There's amazing music being made by people who've locked themselves in studios and haven't seen the outside world for years. I don't think you really have to keep up with the latest technology, or even know what's happening in technology to be making good music.
All right, so then, yeah, so the video basically was speaking about gear, and sometimes you have the latest everything. You know, you have a million VSTs, plugins, whatever. You have the latest, I don't know, DAW, I don't know, Ableton, what people use. What is the other one? Fruity Loops or any other gear that you use and stuff. And you could have everything up to date and spend a lot of money because it's not that cheap, you know? So, you know, you buy all these plugins and all that stuff, and it don't necessarily mean that you're making good music. You know, it's you, you know, it's the person, how determined you are, how much of feeling you put into what you do, how dedicated you are to it. You know, if you have what it takes to be good, or at least the best possible version of yourself when doing what is it that you're doing, you know, come with it with all respect to the craft, because there's a lot of people that I know that have turntables, have vinyl, and it don't necessarily mean that you're good. I remember back in the day when I got started, you know, I like myself, and then the reason that I have here, let me go back to the setup, that I have the time frame from 83 to 85, and the reason that it says that is because I locked myself in my room for about a year and a half or two, till I felt that I was good enough, you know, good enough to come out and rock a party like you're supposed to rock a party. You know, you're not gonna come out wiki whack, you know. And so and back in the days, I don't know if now it's still happening, but back in the days, you know, if you was gonna come out as a DJ, you best know what you're doing. If you don't know what you're doing, then don't do it, because you're gonna be laughed, you're gonna be picked on, and all of that. You know, a real DJ is gonna come through and then he's gonna put you in check. You know, that's what's gonna happen. And so, with that being said, the video mainly wants to let us know, and the discussion between Tony and Angel was that it's knowing what you have. Just knowing what you have, the tools that you already have. As long as you are able to really have full control of them, knowing how to use them, regardless of how basic they might be or not, or whatever, you know, you still, your aim is to make good music, something that moves you and that can move someone else, and I feel that that's very important too. All right, so let's go back into this Q's and A's here. So it says talk about AI. Oh no, before that, how your music should sound in comparison. I'm sorry. Elaborate on the video I just did and what DAW you use. Okay, so with that, what DAW is it that I use? Okay, so I use Reason, but I use like an old version. I use Reason 5. Now, right now they're on Reason 13. You gotta log in, I believe. I don't really know, but you know, I'm in one of them groups on Facebook for Reason software users, and I see that they're on Reason 13, where you gotta log in, and there's a lot of situations that they have problems with this and that and whatever, and I'm like, you know, what can I say? But I've grabbed onto Reason 5 and I've held on to it, and I'm not letting go. And that's basically what I'm using. And this is let's see, this will actually be my setup. This is the keyboard that you see back here. This is my CS2X Yamaha analog synthesizer. This is the interface, basic interface. What I'm interested in the interface mainly is that it has MIDI. So I'm connecting my CS2X through MIDI, and that's basically what I'm happy with. That makes my day to me because I'm able to connect with my DAW and just do what I gotta do. Let's see. What else was it saying here? What do you use? So I just did that. Okay, how your music should sound in comparison to how you're told it should. All right. So in reference to that, when I was in engineering school, it is said that if you are making rock music, house, whatever genre of music you're making, that it's best for you to open up a track, of such genre and listen to how their sound and make sure that yours comes close to sounding with that particular style of music that you want to produce. Now, I'm afraid that for me, that's not the way that I do it, because I feel that you are pretty much putting yourself out there when it comes to your musical production for failure, because you don't know what people are gonna think, right? And if they don't like it, then that's it, tough cookie. But I feel that you got to put your musical audio signature into your production. I don't use any loops. I don't use any melody loops. I key in everything, and that's how I go about my production. You'll see as I with you next time we meet, share pretty much how I go about my process of making my tracks. But I feel that if it sounds good to you, if you like what vibe it gives you, how it moves you, that's good enough for me. And just make sure that it's you got it all mixed properly, EQ'd and mastered, so that way you can provide a good product to the people that support you and stuff like that. All right, so that's about it for that. So the next thing is talk about AI, Timbaland, and MC Shan, and your thoughts. There's a thing on Roblox, speed merger. All right, so yeah. So of course now you got AI. We got artificial intelligence coming in the scene, putting everyone on checkmate, right, per se, because AI is good and stuff, and we had I think for me first person that I know of was Timbaland speaking on it on social media, and he's like, I got tracks from 2012 that I haven't finished, and Sono, people say Suno, but I guess the owner of this thing corrected. I don't know if you guys have seen it, but it's Sono, right? And so he's like, Timbaland is like, it finishes my tracks, and that's great and all for him. MC Shan as well, he's also shared a lot. If you follow him on Facebook, I do. Respect to Timbaland and MC Shan. Man, I got the bridge up there, on vinyl, man. It's great track and stuff. So, and it's great, but understand that at the end of the day, if you use artificial intelligence, I don't know how it goes, but I know that you don't really own the rights to that, so you're not able to monetize if that's your goal, to make music and then make a living off it. If that's your goal, then you cannot monetize on that. So, and I don't know if because you have partial arrangement on a DAW, and then you use ideas from Sono to complete your track or help you out with it. I don't know how it works, but to each his own. I feel that I'm creatively enough to be able to make a track from beginning to end. If you have what it takes, then AI is AI, and nice to see you, but I'm gonna do me, and that's my thoughts on that. So let's see. So we have your signature music. Yeah, I spoke about that. It's important. I mean, what you want to do is leave your thumbprint. I don't know what to call it, man, but your musical signature when it comes to what you do. Very important. I stress that highly because I don't know. I guess I'm one that again, I don't use samples. I could grab onto records and bring my turntable here and look for a part and stuff and make a beat out of that. Yeah, I could do that, and I've done it as an experiment, just to learn. Because again, in audio engineering school, you learn about frequencies, you learn about mastering, you learn how to technical stuff, but when it comes to production, it doesn't, it's you got to put your hands on, get your hands dirty and get into it. And so let's see what else we got here. Okay, yeah. So there was a Mixmag article. So it says here, it says Sweden has banned a track from its ranking over its use of AI tools. Our rule, they say, is that it is a song that is mainly AI generated. It does not have the right to be on the top list. So, I mean, what does that say to you? Come correct. I mean, listen, to me, the fun part about mixing as a DJ is being creative. If you're just playing your track for, the song for the whole bit of 4 minutes, and you're dancing around like a clown, and then you mix the other song, or you're going up there, you got your money to get your equipment and get all this stuff, and then you're mixing, and then, I mean, what is it that you're actually doing? You're just going there for a paycheck. And that's fine and all if people want to pay for that. You got people that got money, they don't care, they're drunk, they just want to party, whatever. And because you're putting a hit song and you're dancing like a clown and drinking, then, I mean, that's you, whatever. But I don't know. It's important for you to just be true to what you're doing, to the craft, have respect to the craft, So I believe that's pretty much it in reference to that. Now, at the beginning of my videos, when I begin to make my beats live, I'm going to, because I need to protect my music, my creativity, so I'm going to be having this at the beginning, in the middle, and at the end. So it says here, live stream disclaimer transmissions is copyright and related rights law decree 33-98, which is complemented by the Penal Code decree 173 and decree 274, which means that all content created and shared during this live session is the exclusive property of Juan Carlos Orellana Sosa, which is me, and the label Hieroglyph Beats, patented it since 2006, which is my label, and it is protected by copyright law and other intellectual property rights. Unauthorized use, reproduction, distribution, or sharing of any part of this content without prior written permission is strictly prohibited, and by participating in this live stream, you acknowledge and respect these rights, right? So again, this is pretty much just to protect myself because I've had people in the past. I remember back in the day, I had a person who showed me a mixtape and said, "Yo, what you think about it?" And I was like, "Well, let me listen to the mix." So of course I'm listening to it, and then I heard the mix. And again, I'm pretty creative when it comes to my mixes. So if somebody is telling me listen to this mix, I can recognize my mixes. I recognize my mixes because I know how I mix. And I was like, oh, let me hear the next one. And I knew that it was my mix. You know, I took it as a compliment. I took it up. Maybe the person knew that it was mine, and he was just trying to see if I recognized it, which I did. But and also music. I used to be down with UO Productions. For Ganjaman. I don't know if you guys know him from Guatemala City. From Belize, he's up and coming. And so anyway, we're doing a lot of tracks. And there was a guy who used to come in and every now and then, and I guess he appeared to be like he wanted to be down with the crew and whatnot, but he had a hidden recorder on him. So as I went with my crew to a party that they were having, I heard through the loudspeakers a track that was just like the one I have been making. And so the reason that I'm going to be putting this live stream disclaimer transmission again, basically just protect me and my music and stuff like that, But anyways, I think in reference to that, I guess that's about it, y'all. Thank you for tuning in and for checking out the video. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, I welcome you to for your support. I thank you. If you haven't had an opportunity to check out my tracks, you're more than welcome to browse on through and check them out, peep them out, leave a comment if you'd like. It's not an obligation, but again, your support is more than welcome, and thank you for taking the time to check this out. So hopefully next time we meet, I'm gonna be making my beats live, and you'll be able to see how I go about my process. So see y'all next time. Take care. Peace, y'all.